Hey, everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with another Reviews After Midnight. And today, my guest is Jonathan A. Moody, and he is the first guest on Reviews After Midnight. And we are here to review this film, Death Squad. Hey, Jonathan.
Death Squad. Where you
there it is.
There he is. Right in front of my face.
Yep, there we go. Right in front of mine, too. There we go. And hey, Jonathan, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for being on the, well, it's not the first episode, but it's the first time of having a guest on. So,
yeah, it's like the fourth episode.
Excuse me. Yes, that's true. And explain to our viewers, why are we reviewing Death Squad?
Why are we reviewing it?
Yeah. How did it get brought to my attention?
Well, that's a loaded question, just like the guns that were in this movie. Yeah. So we were basically talking at one point about, because you were starting to do your review shows and everything, and we were talking about doing a review show together. And the show was going to be called, I think the original title was I'll buy that for $1, or no, I'll rent that for $1. I'll rent that for $1, or
no, I'll review that for $1. That's it. Yes, and I like that title. Yeah.
Yes. I'll review that for $1. God, I can't even remember the title. But no. So we decided to not do that because we both had too many things that we were doing at the time. But you were doing your reviews after midnight, and your reviews after midnight, some of them were going to be Dollar Tree movies. That was the whole purpose of I'll review that for $1, was that we would tackle Dollar Tree movies. And one of the ones that we both knew we had was Death Squad, which I mean, looking at the thing, you can look at the poster behind me, and it seemed kind of cool. Like the cast was freaking amazing. Big time. Like I don't even want to say has-beens, because they're still sort of doing shit.
Except for the ones that are dead.
As far as I know, only one is dead. That's Rutger Hauer. I think everybody else is still alive. Yeah.
Well, unless you think, unless you count their careers being dead.
I don't think anybody's career is dead until they're dead. That's my thing, because everybody has a chance to come back. And I mean, just look at John Travolta. Probably people thought his career was dead.
He's had 8 comebacks.
Yeah, I know. His career might be dead by now, but he's still going strong, trying, good for him. But I'm surprised he's not in this movie. I guess he's too big of a name, maybe, still. But I mean, you look at the cast, like Danny Glover, who's still around and still kicking, and I hope is in Lethal Weapon 5 coming up. Gerald Hanna, Rutger Hauer, Michael Madsen, Stephen Baldwin. I mean, that's amazing right there. So, and I always thought all of them would be like small little, like one-day parts. Glover probably was. That would be my guess, is that they got Glover for one day, because it's like him in one little.
Yeah, he was on a completely different set, probably in a completely different country,
Yeah. But he did his own thing, and then, but he was there throughout the whole movie, so they got use out of him,
Yeah, and the cover, I thought this was going to be Expendables, but with like B-movie actors.
Like, of course.
Yeah, that's what interested me.
Wasn't that what Expendables was?
Yeah, basically Stallone got all of the like the bigger action stars actors of today and yesterday together. So each movie would have some different stars in it, like Van Damme would pop up, or Mel Gibson would pop up, something like that. So I thought,
Eric Roberts.
Eric. Yeah, I figured, okay, well, maybe somebody wanted to do the same thing with this, and so they just kind of collected these kind of B movie guys and gals to be in it. So I was wrong.
Yeah, there's only one B movie gal, and I loved her. I appreciated her in the movie.
Well, they need to be kill or be killed.
Which does give you that, like, I thought, when I was looking at it, I was like, well, this seems kind of very Suicide Squad, like, because
yes,
yeah,
well, that's obviously
the original
title. Yeah.
Talk about the original title, because you couldn't find this on IMDb.
Yeah, I wanted to make some notes on it, and I could not find it on IMDb at all. I could not find really any listing for Death Squad, which I do agree with you. Obviously, they changed the title to match Suicide Squad. It's actually the original title for this, and how it's listed on IMDb is 2047 Sights of Death. So, which you could think is maybe like the sight of a gun. But no, it's actually like people that have been murdered. And that's what this whole thing is, a cover up for these murders. But I guess it's supposed to take place, 2 years before Blade Runner, the second Blade Runner.
Yeah. Which Rutger Hauer and Daryl Hannah were both in the original Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Which, if you ever notice, and I noticed this with the stupid episode, like this stupid movie, because the computers in 2047 looked worse than the computers in fucking Blade Runner. They were just terrible. I was like, nobody in, and then it goes with the low budget territory. They have what they could afford to have.
Right. Well, if you watch the behind the scenes, which are kind of pointless, the first behind the scenes is not bad. It's 7 minutes, and you see there's a lot of green screen. And then the second one is just the same thing, but shorter. So it's almost like they told two people, go make your own behind the scenes. They more or less used all the footage, the same footage. And they're like, Christ, they're the same thing. Fuck it. Just put it onto the DVD. So, and then you get a theatrical trailer. Which kind of made me excited because I watched the trailer before I saw the film, and I'm like, oh, this isn't Expendables. Okay, well, this looks kind of cool. But I don't think I realized that it was, in the year 2047, there's
no way to know that.
Yeah, no. Even the back is very kind of has that kind of canon feel,
modern feel to it.
Fight for your survival. So on the front here, you want to kill or be killed, but on the back, you want to fight for your survival. So when I read that, I almost thought, ooh, is it kind of like The Running Man or something like that? But the back here, for people who don't know this film, I'll read it. It's very short. It's in the year 2047, a rebel war agent is forced to go against an oppressive government to expose their war criminals. To avoid capture, he must face a vicious death squad. Of mercenaries who are prepared to sacrifice their lives rather than see him get out alive. I don't think this is true at all. I don't think this is the movie. I mean, it is and it isn't.
Wanted the movie to be. I think that's what they wanted this movie to be, but like, that sounds so much more epic than what we saw. I mean,
well, Rutger Hauer's like a colonel or something, so he's like running the whole operation. Right. Michael Madsen is probably the mercenaries guy, and he has his own men.
Yeah.
Danny Glover is like the radio freedom type guy, so he's not even seen with any of them. He's kind of in his own little world in a way. Daryl Hannah is Rutger Hauer's assistant. And then
she's the major. She's a
major. Yeah, who seems to be working with him. But Michael Madsen wants to know if he's fucking her, which is, which seemed weird.
That's all he cares about.
Yeah. And then Stephen Baldwin, obviously got off of some religious set for the day and then came and did this movie. So he got paid a little bit more to do this movie than he did, off of his religious films that he does. So. And I could not name one person on here without screwing up their whole last name. They're all names that I could not pronounce in 100 years.
Yeah. Well, except for Alessandro Capone.
There you go. And the film
it might not be Capone. It might be Capone.
There you go. See, that could even be wrong. And then it's not rated. It's widescreen, at least. It is listed as action, even though I consider it more sci-fi action. But it is a good length of 89 minutes. So it did not outstay its welcome because of its length. So it was fine being at 89 minutes.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, and I like here how Rutger Hauer looked really bad in this film. Like, he just did not.
Oh, yeah. He was rough.
But here, and he looks all clean.
Yeah, he looked rough Hauer.
Rough.
He was terrible.
Actually, all these look pretty good. They, who knows if they're even attached to the actual bodies, like if these are if this is actually them. But the heads look pretty good.
Right.
So.
Yeah, they look all clean and they don't look younger. They all look old. Which is, look, hey, more power to the older actors for getting a chance to try to pretend to be the young bucks that they once were, but this movie just felt like it was made to be for younger people, and then they just couldn't, they're like, oh, we could get all these old people in this movie, and it'll give us a lot of collateral and and everything. And hey, they did it well with Expendables, having Sylvester Stallone and Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger, who look like, oh my god, he looked like hell in the Expendables movies and stuff.
These guys are old.
Bruce Willis, who just didn't look like he even was on the right. He never looks like he's on the right set. Like he looks like he gets on the sets and goes, "Hey, what movie am I doing?" Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he does lines. 5 films a week. Takes the weekend off, then goes back and does another 5 films. As long as he can get that and Bruce Willis or with Bruce Willis credit, but still be the biggest head on the box.
Sometimes he's got a big head, so it works.
There's a show to do, and Bruce Willis. You just review films where Bruce Willis has these roles. Like, you can't review Die Hard, but you can do the and Bruce Willis movies.
What was the movie? Hold on. I got one. Oh shit, where'd it go? The fuck? And there should be like music here. Survive the game.
Yeah, so push it a little closer to you, right in front of your face. Can we see like the and or the with? What does it say for him? Oh, it just says Bruce Willis.
It just says Bruce Willis. On the back. No, he's second. He's second next to Chad Michael Murray. So it'll be Chad Michael Murray and then Bruce Willis. But I watched some of it and he's barely in the movie.
Of course.
I bought it because I actually know and have interviewed the director, James Cullen Bressick, and Zach Ward, who's in it. I've interviewed him.
Oh, I like Zach Ward.
Zach is fucking phenomenal in the movie. He's blonde in that movie, by the way. So if at some point you ever get this movie, we should review it somewhere because you would. Yeah,
I'm sitting actually right here. Restoration.
Oh, nice. Which is his Restoration. Film. Yeah, he wrote, co-wrote, and James Cullen Bressick directed that, I believe, as well.
Yeah, he'd be a good guy to have like on one filmmaker. So,
yeah.
So to
get him.
Yeah, I'll check it out. So to go back to Death Squad, I want to bring up. This is not officially the movie, but there were 4 trailers on there. And a couple of them looked kind of amazing. I'm hoping for Dollar Tree, videos on this. The first, Black November, which has Mickey Rourke in it, and they outright steal the Braveheart speech, and Mickey Rourke just looks awful in it. That one looks so horrible. It might be fun to review. The next one I definitely want to see is Outcast, which has Nicolas Cage and Hayden Christensen. My fingers are crossed on this one. I really want this because it looks like it's like a medieval type of thing. Then they have After the Fall with Wes Bentley, which he's okay, but the film didn't look that great. But the one, the second one that I'm hoping to find is Miss Meadows with Katie Holmes going around shooting people. She's like a little Miss 45.
I saw the preview of that. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and this is all from that E1 or Entertainment One, like releasing or DVDs or productions, whatever they do. So, but they
have a lot of films in the Dollar Tree.
I've noticed that. Yeah. None of these though, unfortunately.
You could do a whole show. You could do a whole show on E1, movies or whatever.
I mean,
that's got a lot of them, and
that's a good thing. Yeah, because it's all overstock. So the Dollar Tree gets.
I have Miss Meadows somewhere. I have Miss Meadows.
Oh,
I've been wanting to see it, but I've got I think I've told you about this a million times. If I'm not reviewing something, I'm probably not watching it unless it's something I really, really want to watch. Like I want to watch Marvel. I want to watch documentaries or whatever, but I those are the kind of what I don't review. I should probably review Marvel because they'll probably give me a lot of attention.
No, there you go. Yeah. I know. I'm kind of doing the reviews after midnight on purely judging a movie by its cover. So that's the only way that's kind of it is, oh, this looks interesting. And like I've said before, if it's good or bad, I got to stick through it and review it. So, and a lot of these I've never heard of or seen. So,
so we did a review recently for a movie, and I can't talk. Well, I guess I can talk about it now because it'll actually be up. The review will be up before this one goes up. But we reviewed for the last episode in October, Terror Bigfoot Pond, which was a movie on Tubi. It's terrible. But the guy one of the guys that reviewed it with us, Bobby Gonzalez, said that he would give it 2 ratings, and I could pick which one. And our you've always been confused at our stinkometer. Our stinkometer goes 1 being good and 10 being bad, right? Stinky,
right?
Terrible, whatever. So he said 1 if you want to go to sleep. If you need to go to sleep, I'd vote a 1. Totally. It's good if you want to go to sleep. But if you really want to look at what the review is, it's a 10. And that gave us our second 30 of the year. Which
excuse me.
3 10s,
See, I could see that working if it was like 1 is shit. Like for Bigfoot, like one is a pile of Bigfoot shit. 10 is 10 piles of Bigfoot shit. So it's really stinky, really horrible. That's how I would.
I think the big reason Paul, who's the one who came up with the stinkometer, because it's called the stinkometer, So you don't want 1 being the worst when we're trying to see if we can get 10s, which we do. We try to find 10s. We try to find movies that would be so terrible that people would be like, this is bad. We pride ourselves.
Right.
That.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just stick with the 1 being the worst and the 10 being or 5. I could even do 5. I mean, that's 1 through 5.
Just know we were very confused by your 5 for Alien Beasts this year.
I don't remember giving it 5. Oh, because you go up to 10. Yeah. No, you gave it a 5 because you said it was so bad it went back to being good again. And then you put it in the middle. And we were like, why you screwed over our system that way, but whatever. I threw a wrench in it. Well, like for Night Teeth, when we reviewed that I messed up on. I said teeth. I'm sorry. Yeah, I said teeth. I should have said fangs is what I was trying to think of, but teeth came out instead of fangs. So it should have been how many fangs do you give? Because they're vampires. That would have made more sense.
Right.
But teeth came out instead because I just couldn't think of fangs for some reason. So, I mean, we all have
fine
it.
Because it's called teeth. It was called Night Teeth.
Yeah.
It wasn't called Night Fangs, which actually would have been a better title. You know.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. So I guess for this we could do bullets. So it could be like
are we gonna rate? Okay, I didn't know we were rating. I didn't know it wasn't.
Yeah. We might as well. Why not? But let's. Yeah. So we'll get back to this now. So a couple things I liked.
Well, yeah, we'll do that at the end.
Yeah. Couple things that I liked in this. One, Michael Madsen's blowjob intro with rock music playing in the background. And I swear this was not meant to be in the movie. This was behind the scenes footage. And they're just like, Mr. Madsen, you're needed on set, sir. You're needed on set. But he had a camera on him just shooting behind the scenes footage. And so they went, oh, fuck it. Just put it in the movie.
That sounds like a great idea for it. But I actually thought, and this is actually my thought when I was watching it, was that that this was in his contract. He said, I'll only do this movie if my character can basically have a girl giving me a BJ while I'm on the phone with somebody. Because like they're maybe going to have the scene where he was just on the phone. That was his introduction, and he was like, I need to have a girl sucking me off. And then you need to go and have somebody kill her,
Yeah, I don't think you're far from that. Listening to, because Stephen Baldwin, surprisingly, I think is the one who gives us 100%. And he's only made one good movie in his entire career, and that was The Usual Suspects. And I think he was giving this 100%. I think all the stuff between like Rutger Hauer and Michael Madsen is all ad-libbed. I think they probably had a script and they're like, fuck it, we're not going to do this dialogue, and so we'll put in the essentials and then we're just going to wing it. Because some of their stuff some of their lines, pardon me, God, just did not seem like they were scripted. They seemed like they were ad-libbed.
Right. Wasn't Stephen Baldwin also in Biodome?
Oh God, yes. Like I said, he's made one good movie.
I don't know. I'm a little younger than you are.
Nothing good about Pauly Shore. Nothing good about Pauly Shore. No, nothing.
I think I'm in a little bit of a different, ballpark than you on that stuff, because I grew up on Adam Sandler and Pauly Shore, all these people who you didn't grow up with, you didn't like,
Oh no, yeah. I mean, I grew up on 80s stuff, like late 70s, right. 80s stuff. So yeah. So in my opinion, one movie. In your opinion, two movies, maybe. Yeah, maybe two, or maybe a couple.
I don't know. I don't know if I've liked any other ones that he's done. I know he's done a lot of really shitty made for sci-fi movies and stuff. And even though they're terrible, like they're still fun, to me. Like that's kind of what I like, But then again, it goes back to why I do a stinkometer, and everything. So,
right. And then the other thing that I liked in this was all the B-roll footage of the destroyed like cities and buildings and landscapes. That looked like somebody put an effort out in, and getting all those like models or whatever they used was actually really good. So that surprised me. And then the third one would be uploading info into people's heads, which they commented on at the very end of the movie, where Rutger Hauer says something like, people are uploading all this information into their heads. And I'm like, Johnny Mnemonic? When did this happen?
Yeah.
So what do you think of the B-roll footage and destroyed cities and stuff? What do you think about that? Did you like that?
Yeah, it was okay.
It
was like, Like, you know what I liked about this movie?
What's that?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. This movie was boring. It was obnoxious. You could barely see anything. You had to keep turning your DVD up and down. Rutger Hauer was useless. He was the worst villain I've ever seen, if you can call him that. I hated the fact that I guess that chick was a hallucination yet could attack people. Made absolutely no sense whatsoever.
It's almost like they had 75% of a script and then they didn't have an ending. And they're like, oh, fuck. Okay, well, maybe it's in his head. And then we'll just kind of tie everything together with, like with narration, we'll just have Stephen Baldwin just tell people what's going on. Because, none of the ending made sense. That last like 20 minutes just made no sense at all.
I think they had a Troll 2 situation where there's a foreign filmmakers who hire actors from America and the translation gets lost somewhere. And the actors just do what they're told, but have no idea what's going on. Like, I mean, I don't think anybody in that movie knew what the fuck they were doing. They were just like, okay, I get a paycheck today.
Well, see, I don't think people set out, obviously, to make bad movies. And you can see in the behind the scenes that there's definitely a crew. There's a lot of green screens. I think at the time, probably the director was going like, yeah, man, we're making this good movie with a message in it about corporations and them killing people and trying to hide it and all of this. And then what we got was actually was Death Squad. We did not get the movie that he wanted. He wanted he wanted the original title. He wanted 2047 Sights of Death, but instead he got Death Squad.
Right. I absolutely hated the behind the scenes because it was just like behind the scenes footage of what they were doing with like music surrounding them, and I was like, this is so boring. Like I've never been bored by behind the scenes before in my life.
I mean, I've seen that before. That didn't bother me.
Well, I've seen it.
Yeah, that didn't bother me because I mentioned to you when we were talking during the film that probably most of them didn't speak English. So, because I think unless he's the assistant director, the director would yell cut, and then the guy standing next to him goes stop. So stop, I guess, is right. Cut. Where they're at, I don't know, but I mean that I always have a little bit of more respect when I see behind the scenes and I see, oh, okay, this is actually meant to be a real movie. What bummed me out was behind the scenes part 2. And it's just a shorter version of what we saw. So what's the point? Just throw it away.
Oh.
Just give us 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And just throw the other one away because they're the same freaking thing. What's the point? That's what pissed me off. So,
well, yeah, I didn't even look at part 2 because I got bored with part 1 enough where I was just like, I don't even want to watch the full 7 minutes of this. I'm, and I don't know. I get mad because like, when you do behind the scenes, you sort of want kind of cool, you want at least an interview with the filmmakers talking about how they made it, or whatever, or the actors saying, oh man, it was so much fun playing this role, even if they weren't having fun playing the fucking role, it's just, you want to see that stuff because it maybe gets some little insight into the making of the movie. But when you just kind of see them doing it and you see like, it's just like, oh, them behind a green screen or them like, yelling stop or whatever. It's just, to me, it's like, what's the point,
Well, I don't know. Maybe nobody had anything good to say, or maybe they just didn't have time to do it. I prefer not to have the fluff pieces, that are on there going, oh my God, the director is so great. Oh my God, it's so wonderful to work with this person. When sometimes, they're lying and it's just a studio fluff piece, to promote the film. I want to see that
right, but
20 years later, when they actually talk shit about the movie.
Uh-oh. All right, anyway, continue. What you were saying?
No, I was just saying that I would rather have no behind the scenes type of thing if it's just going to be a fluff piece.
Right. I understand that.
So it's just, I want to hear 20 years later when they're talking shit about the movie, then that's what I want to see. That then
that's
at least they're more honest. Well, definitely not on this film, that's for sure. And I still don't know what the plot is. I mean, I have absolutely no idea what the plot of this film is. I don't know, because it was very confusing. At first, you're seeing at the beginning 3 CGI helicopters. One of them moves ahead. They shoot down, I guess it's supposed to be Stephen Baldwin's helicopter. That I guess he's flying by himself. There's like no other crew on it. And it crashes, but then we see 3 helicopters fly away. So were there actually 4 helicopters?
I don't know.
That was confusing because we don't even see the helicopter crash. Instead, we just see the aftermath of it crashing. Yeah. And he's there which is odd. He's surrounded by the helicopter crash. There's like the propeller, but yet he has like a what looks like maybe like a parachute that's next to him. That's deployed. So I thought that was confusing. And I still don't know why is he there? What is he doing? What is his goal? I just didn't understand.
He kept saying, I have to stay to the end. I have to finish this. And then like Danny Glover's on the other end, like, why do you gotta finish? You don't have to finish this. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what does he have to finish? I don't even know what the hell is going on. Like, oh.
Well, yeah, and Danny Glover's character's name is Sponge. Sponge.
Right. Wasn't that from Salucha Shorts on Nickelodeon?
I'm too old for that, so you would know better than me.
Yes, there was a character named Sponge.
So I would think that he's called Sponge because he has all the information. Like he's a sponge. He has all this information. He absorbs
all the information. Yeah.
Then you call him to get it, even though most of the time he really didn't have any information.
He was one of the most useless characters in the whole movie.
Well, and
he did nothing.
Well, what's the female's name? Like the savage, the survivor. What's it like? Tug.
It started with the T.
Yeah, TUAG. Yeah, it's like Togue or
Taug. Togue. Yeah.
What an easy role! My God, they probably put out need woman in her 20s, mute, must be hot, and that's it. And probably like 500 women showed up because they don't have to learn anything. There's no dialogue. She never speaks once.
Well, but she was supposed to be like his imagination or his hallucination or something. But then she like attacks other people. I don't know what the fuck happened.
So it's like Fight Club.
She was like the most confusing character that just kind of was there. And then like, what was the purpose of her? I don't know. But they ended up having some sort of bonding together or something. And then, and then what's his name? Rutger Hauer killed her, but she wasn't really dead. But then she turns out to be a hallucination. And then she ends up attacking them all. And then she ends up attacking, I think, was it
Michael Madsen
or Rutger Hauer, one of them?
Yeah, she kills Michael Madsen.
Yeah, but then he's not dead. He comes back at the end and kills Daryl Hannah. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's like, is this just not real? Is this like, what is this all in somebody's head? That's what I was waiting for, it to be like a dream. Like all of a sudden Stephen Baldwin is on the helicopter dreaming about this before he's supposed to go to this thing.
Well, or he gets shot down and he's there wounded, and this is what's playing in his head. So then we see him crash, he's on the ground, and then at the very end, it cuts back to him like almost dead or something on the ground, and that's when you hear Sponge.
That would make more sense.
Yeah, Ryan, are you there? We're sending help. Ryan, are you there? You know, Sponge calling Stephen Baldwin's character, his name is Ryan. So it's none of this stuff made sense. Yeah, Daryl Hannah is a major.
How did Rutger Hauer even know? Yeah, how did Rutger Hauer even know who this guy was? Because like he knew his name and everything. I didn't get that. Like, did he already know this guy?
I guess because he's like
history
a top
between them
guy. Well, that's the thing is they could have just thrown in one line like, yeah, we worked together 10 years ago and he went rogue on me. And then that's how he knows him. Instead, it's just like, oh, maybe Stephen Baldwin is the best, but we're getting his worst, you know?
I know. Like, yeah, for the guy who's the best, he's not very good.
Yeah.
You know,
like, nice to see him on his last day.
All right. Like, oh my goodness, this is just.
Well, that's why I thought by seeing this box is, you know, I figured, you know, Rutger Hauer was the commander and he assembles this team because, you know, he's the best at communications. She's the best at safe cracking. He's the best at judo or whatever. And Baldwin is the best at being a sniper or something like that. That's what I thought this was. And then they're like fighting these guys down here because they have to go get like.
It looked like a war movie.
Yeah, that it was like Expendables, or it was one of these things where, you know, the president's daughter's been kidnapped. You know, you guys got to go in and save her. And if you fail, you won't be on the books because you're the death squad, you know, very canon.
See, you said that earlier, very canon. And I totally agree that title and that box cover and all that stuff. I mean, if this had been made in the 80s, it would have been starring Charles Bronson and Chuck Norris and Louis Gossett Jr. and, you know, whatever, right? Louis Gossett Jr. would have been the
each one of these. There would have been like Chuck Norris there, Charles Bronson there, Michael Dudnikoff there, Louis Gossett Jr. there, and then
Cynthia Rothrock would have been.
Cynthia Rothrock would be the woman. Yeah, she'd be the only woman.
Yeah,
you know, there'd be like Steve James.
Yeah. There would be no love interest. There'd be no love interest because Canon don't got time for that shit.
No,
You know?
but you would still have the one character ask him if he's fucking her or something like that, you know, just to.
Well, yeah, why not? Because I mean, that does sound very 80s.
You fucking her,
yeah. And I mean, you know what? I'll take that back. Before I said nothing, you know, or whatever. I really did like Michael Madsen in the movie.
Okay.
I think I told you before. I think I wrote this to you before that he was the only one in the movie that seemed to be trying, you know, and having a good time. You know, it wasn't just a blowjob he was getting earlier. I think he was literally having fun playing his role, but his role was the most fun. There was no other character that had anything that was fun. Even Rutger Hauer, who I love, like. Look at Blade Runner, but then also look at him in Buffy, you know, the Buffy movie. He was so much fun in that. In this movie, he's just sort of this bland. And this is sad. This is one of his last movies before he passed away or so, you know, or whatever.
It is. And it looked like he did not look good. And I don't know, you can. Like, I think if you just go kind of off the front here, you can almost just see kind of like Danny, like maybe somebody knew Danny Glover and they're like, excuse me. And they're like, look, man, you don't even have to leave a room. You just sit in a chair, read into this radio and collect a paycheck. And he's like, okay, that's good. Poor Daryl Hannah is like,
otherwise he's getting too old for this shit.
There you go. And then Daryl Hannah's like, I've had way too much plastic surgery done, and this is literally the best I can get. So I might as well put out 100%. I'll try my best.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody will see me and put me into a better film. Rutger Hauer was probably dying at the time, or he's just like, it's a paycheck. I don't really care. This is being shot in some other country, so I might as well get that trip in. But it's always good to watch him, but I think Madsen was, like you're saying, he was the only one that was truly having fun on set. And I think that's why a lot of his stuff was ad-libbed. And Baldwin, I think, was the serious actor on set. I think he was the guy that was trying to make this the next Expendables or something like that, or something.
You know why? Because he's the lead, so he's like, wow, somebody actually trusted me to be a lead in a movie. I'll do the best I can. I'm the lesser Baldwin of all the Baldwins. So,
well, I got 5 days off of Pure Flix, so I guess I'll go make this movie. But also, do you mind if I mean, never mind. I was going to do a really bad, tasteless joke, and I decided this is a family show, sir.
I just wanted to be careful what I say.
But always looking at covers and posters are interesting, because this was not just thrown together. This was put together because of what each of their agents said had to be done. So it's interesting. So that Danny Glover's name is first, but he's in the back. And then you got Daryl Hannah, who's in the back. Rutger Hauer's straight up front. And then Michael Madsen. And then the star of our movie is at the very end in the back. So they obviously, so he's got the star power here. And
Rutger Hauer,
yeah. And I learned that actually from the original Bad Boys poster. If you look at that poster, Will Smith's name is first, but Martin Lawrence is in front of him on the poster. And then Will Smith's name is second, and he's behind. I'm sorry, no, I take that back. Martin Lawrence's name is first. Will Smith is out front. Martin Lawrence's name is second, but Martin Lawrence.
You mean Will Smith's
I'm doing this backwards.
Yeah. Will Smith's second. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like whoever name is first is in the back. Whoever's name is second is in the front. And I learned that from that Bad Boys poster. So yeah, so I think it's Will Smith, but Martin Lawrence, and then Martin Lawrence, and then Will Smith is in the back, something like that. And if you look at posters, now that I've confused everybody on what to look for, you can learn a lot on how a movie is made just by looking at its poster. Yeah. So, and that all has to do with agents and managers and all that type of stuff.
Well, even you said that you pick these movies because you base them on the cover. Like, oh wow, that looks cool. I'd love to review this. And the like we said, the poster is very canon. So I can agree that, like, if I had seen this, if this were made if I were at a video store and I didn't know what I was looking for, I was at the new release section and this was out and I saw a movie called Death Squad, I would look at it and I'd be like, look at that cast, look at that poster. Wow, this looks amazing. I will rent this movie. And the problem these days is these are going to Dollar Tree, these are shit movies starring huge names, nobody's heard of Death Squad. No. They might hear of it because we do this review, which is nice. We're giving it some help. We're also telling everybody, like warning everybody, it does kind of suck. If you really want to see Michael Madsen getting a blowjob from a chick that gets shot in the head, later.
Oh, well, and we forgot its location. The location is he's in a bathroom stall. Right. So it's not like at a desk or at his apartment or something. It's in a bathroom stall. That's why I think he was probably the one, like you were saying, there's probably like maybe he was sitting at a desk and he was getting the blowjob at the desk, and he goes up to the director and goes, I think this would be really great because I'm Michael Madsen if I got a blowjob inside a restroom in a dirty stall. And I just kept pushing her head down, got the call, I'll be with you. Got to finish what I'm doing.
Shows that he's a dirty guy.
Yeah. And that's what's going through Michael Madsen's head. So it's like either the guy's maybe a genius in, let's take it from a boring desk or a sofa to a dirty stall in wherever they were at, or he's just insane. Because
it was one of the most memorable scenes.
It's one of the only ones. It's actually the only one that I wrote down. Yeah. And it reminded me a little bit of Nazi Overlord, where it's a bad movie, but I enjoyed watching it, but I would probably never watch it again. And that film, Nazi Overlord, has Tom Sizemore. And I mentioned to you that I constantly get Michael Madsen and Tom Sizemore confused. So for some reason,
I think I've done that too, I think. And it's because they're both in like a million movies and stuff, and they have a similar look, I guess, but not too similar, where if you put them side by side, I'd know which one was which,
Oh yeah. But I know I've done something like, remember that scene in Reservoir Dogs with Tom Sizemore? And of course I go, Tom Sizemore wasn't in it. Yeah, he was. He did the whole dancing thing with cutting the ear off. No, that's Michael Madsen. Oh, that's what I always get them confused. I always do that. One of them has long, greasy, wet hair, while the other one is constantly bald. That's how I remember them.
You want to hear a really fucked up story? So for the longest time, I thought Lance Henriksen was in RoboCop. I thought Lance Henriksen was the dude who later on went to be in That 70s Show or whatever that's in RoboCop. You know what I'm talking about? Oh
yeah, the dad in That 70s Show, the badass that was in RoboCop.
In That 70s. I thought that was when he was like no. I thought that was Lance Henriksen for the longest time. I don't know why. They don't even look alike. I don't know why. But I remember I was at a convention and with this guy, and I was hanging out and we were talking, and I was like, oh yeah, Lance Henriksen, man, he was so great in RoboCop. And my friend looked at me and goes, he wasn't in RoboCop. Yeah, he's the guy that was I was like, no, that wasn't. I forgot the guy's name because they knew exactly the name. And they were like, and then my friend looks over at me and goes, dude, you should totally go up to Lance Henriksen and go, I loved you in RoboCop. And I was like, now that I know that he wasn't, I will save my embarrassment.
That would be Kurtwood Smith.
That's right. He's like,
well, so my story with Kurtwood Smith is this is before That 70s Show. This is when he played just villains in movies. And this is right after RoboCop, where he was like the scary guy. Like he was, that is a great character in that film. And he is legitimately scary in RoboCop.
Yeah.
And I used to work at Tower Records in Pasadena. And I was driving, my friend worked there at the time, and we were in my car, and there was one open spot and two cars go to get in. Like we almost hit one another, and we look up and it's Kurtwood Smith. And he's just staring at us. And this is right after RoboCop. And we're like, and just reversed up and let him have the space and just drove off to like the furthest space we could, that was available. Because he scared us.
That's funny.
Yeah, there was no waving, nothing. It was just, okay, dude, you killed RoboCop, or Murphy, who becomes RoboCop.
Yep, Murphy killed Murphy, yeah. And then Murphy or RoboCop gets his justice at the end.
He does,
or whatever. Spoilers for RoboCop.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, then oh well, too bad. It's been out.
It's been a while, so yeah. I mean, you missed the boat on that one.
So is this missing maybe a Lance Henriksen or a Kurtwood Smith? Would that make it better?
I mean, I think Michael Madsen tried to be that sort of way, I guess.
Okay.
Sort of be the fun, kind of bad. There was also that other character, the one that kills the girl or whatever, that he gives the permission, maybe you should kill her because we don't which that was the worst scene ever, by the way, because I'm like thinking, okay, if you're going to kill her, just go up and just shoot her, right? you know, right? Like, go up and shoot her. He like lets her just back all the way up, and I'm like, oh my god, just shoot.
Oh, are you talking about from the blowjob?
Yeah, after the blowjob scene.
Yeah, because he's like, yeah, you know, I talk a lot, probably too much. You should kill her, you know.
Right. And then he walks up and she just keeps backing up. And I'm like, get to the fucking kill. God damn, man.
Well, because he's got to kill her in the bathroom. That way that, you know, she's just all the blood and everything is in the bathroom.
I don't think that was the plan. I think it was just, I mean, that wasn't the original thing. He didn't say that to him. He just like kept making her back up, you know, and shit.
Well, he was taunting her, you know, is he going to do it? Is he not going to do it? When is he going to do it? You know, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like it was just it's the whole movie is just, it's too slow, too boring.
And you just don't understand. They're just, I'll say it again. I did not understand the plot. I didn't get what is, you know, he starts at A, he needs to get to Z. What is happening in between? Why does he need to go from A to Z? It doesn't make any sense to me, especially when Rutger Hauer brings up, you know, uploading info into people's heads. That didn't make any sense to me.
Here's some more stories on it from IMDb. Okay, some more plot ideas. There's 2 of them. So Ryan Wilburn, played by Stephen Baldwin, a Green War rebel agent sent on a mission to collect evidence against the Confederate central government, which I guess that's what Rutger Hauer was. I don't remember that name. I think they say Confederate. And I was like, when did this become a Civil War movie? For its heinous crimes, the mission quickly turns chaotic when he meets Taug, whatever, or a mutant survivor. Mutant, apparently.
Yeah, because she was like after the fall, but they only found only one person. That's it. But is it in his brain? Maybe there are no survivors.
Maybe not. The year is 2047. Our planet is ruled by repressive Confederate central government, the CCG. Ryan Wilburn is a Green War rebel agent sent on a mission by Sponge, Danny Glover, to collect evidence against the CCG for its heinous crimes. This is what probably sold this movie to getting made. Ryan soon faces the sinister Colonel Asimov, played by Rutger Hauer, Major Anderson, played by Daryl Hannah, and a group of mercenaries led by Lobo, Michael Madsen. Ryan's Lobo, which I always think of Ed Wood when I hear Lobo. So
yeah, whatever. Lobo's not the best. I mean, unless you're considering the DC comic, maybe that's what they were aiming for.
Maybe. Ryan's mission quickly turns chaotic when he meets Taug, a mutant survivor of the CCG rebellion, who swears to help Ryan save what is left of their world. Or does she? I don't know. That was that. That was the plots, I guess.
Okay, I did not get that at all, but okay. Well, and to go off of IMDb again, so the trivia, like we've already mentioned, Rutger Hauer and Daryl Hannah appeared in Blade Runner 1982, which also took place in the future. Wow. Rutger Hauer made many films that took place in the future. Goofs, about 48 minutes. At about 48 minutes, Welburn is talking to Sponge, not pushing the talk button on the radio.
Okay.
And wow, they actually have quotes.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. I don't care about going through these, but there was one about the guy's fly being open and his dick.
Yeah. My favorite thing are the reviews. So this one says, beyond tedious, mind-numbingly boring film. The name actors must have been paid a shed full of money to appear in this tedious drivel. There can be no other reason to perform in this 1 out of 10 nonsense. There is not one redeeming feature. The plot is overused and has a large gaps in continuity. Camera work is amateur and at best bland. Everyone looks and acts bored. Script is beyond a joke. What a waste, so much talent on a vehicle that is boring. Rutger Hauer, etc. should sack their agents for getting them involved in this. It was So embarrassing to watch. I actually felt myself squirming at each ridiculous line was delivered, and each plot gap widened by cutting to a scene which didn't follow on from the storyline, such as it were. Do not waste time or money watching this. You will regret it.
Well, and okay, so yeah, so that's pretty good. There's another one which is 1 out of 10 stars. This is the top review.
That was also
futuristic action flick where rebels played by Glover, Baldwin, and Leone face off against government bad guys Hauer and Madsen. And this isn't that long, so I'll do a quick read on it. The audience will find it torturous, trying to decipher the point of Glover and Baldwin's rebel mission. See, I still don't understand the mission. So he obviously he didn't either. The rebel opposition consists of a group of pseudo-military types led by Rutger Hauer. I'm not sure if the clownish attempt at acting like soldiers was due to the writers thinking it unnecessary to pay for technical consulting, or perhaps that really is how Italian soldiers work. Oh, so this was shot in Italy. Hauer appears in a state of constant obliviousness, which is reasonable given the script. Thin plots don't really bother me as long as there is a little bit of good acting, a character to root for, or at least entertaining action scenes. This movie, having none of those things, is utterly unappealing and thoroughly boring. Jonathan, did you write this? The script was completely incomprehensible. The actors never had a chance with this big steamy turd. 1 out of 10.
Well, if not, it took it from my mind, you know.
and it does say, is this helpful? To 26 people, it was. To one person, it was not.
Where did you say the one person? Oh, I guess 26 out of 27. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
You know. It wasn't helpful. I don't know what that means, though. Like,
and it does say Italy.
Like, this was maybe that was one of the Italian directors, you know, filmmakers who were like, "This is not helpful. It's going to hurt our career."
Well, yeah, because so the release date on it was July 24th, 2014, Italy, country of origin, Italy. So right there, that answers our question. Why did these people make this movie? Oh, they got a free trip to Italy. They each probably had their own room. They were probably, well-fed Italian food. Right there. That's why a lot of these people do these types of movies is they get a free trip to France, or they get a free trip to Canada, or they get a free trip to Australia, whatever it is. And then they just make these bad movies.
I want a free trip to Australia.
I would like that. Maybe one day we can. So
maybe one day we can.
So that explains it right there. I'm okay
with that. Yeah. So, this movie is bad. This movie just sucked. It was terrible. Like, Michael Madsen can't save this movie, even with his goofy, silly shit that he does in the movie. Nobody can save this movie. Danny Glover didn't even try,
No, he can't.
No. It was terrible. Nobody can.
No, it's not so. I mean, would I watch it again? I don't know. Maybe if I had some friends over and I was getting high or something, or brought a 6-pack. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I don't do that anymore. So I don't
for you,
do that
it's a
anymore.
definite.
So this,
yeah.
And like this movie has zero interest in. Even if somebody were like, and look, will I get rid of this movie? Will I take it out of would I sell it or give it away to somebody? Fuck no. I keep it.
Oh, I'm keeping it.
It's in my collection. I'm happy to have it. I just don't think I'd ever watch it again or need to watch it again.
No, probably. Ever. Yeah, there's better movies to watch. So what I thought was interesting during the credits is that it does say, story and screenplay by this guy, but it does say adaptation by this guy. Or her, I can't tell. But is this based on a book or something? What is it the adaptation from? The story and screenplay, that's covered right there. Where's the adaptation coming from? Unless maybe it's adapted into English, like it was written in Italian.
Yeah.
and then the person adapted it into English for all of them.
Yeah, it was translated.
And that has to be what that guy was in the behind the scenes, is probably an interpreter. So even though the director said the right word, cut, the interpreter is going, stop, because he's not like a film guy. He's just an interpreter. Even though clearly all of them would know what cut means. So I'm sure they've heard it a billion times by now.
Maybe the other people don't. I don't know, but that's weird. I think everybody should know what cut means. I don't know.
Well, the interpreter probably figured, oh, okay, well, I'll just yell stop, just in case or something like that. That's what I got from that one thing in the behind the scenes, is he was an interpreter. So I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. So are we
let's just go with that.
Okay. So anything else we want to talk about, or should we wrap up 2047 Sights of Death?
I will I'll do a rating, of it.
Okay.
I'm happy with that.
All right, so let's use bullets. I like that. And then we're just going to do the regular 1 is bad, 5 is good. Okay. So what how many bullets?
I was thinking we could have done blow jobs.
Okay. So all right. We'll skip it. And she gets shot with a bullet. So okay. So how many blowjobs do you give this?
1.5 blowjobs just for that scene. No,
okay.
Like, okay. How many would you give?
I would give it 2. I would
give it 2.
Yeah.
Well, I think you liked it more than I did anyway. I mean, not saying you liked it a lot, but I'm just saying you liked it a little bit more than I did.
I mean, I think because I expected, Expendables, and I got like this sci-fi Johnny Mnemonic type thing that I might have enjoyed a little bit more, because I like End of the World.
The marketing of it is terrible. Like,
yes, this is very deceptive. Very deceptive.
Right. Like, generally speaking, when it's a futuristic movie, they will show like a robot or some kind of sci-fi kind of feel. And this movie did not feel like a sci-fi movie. It didn't feel like it took place in 2047.
Mm-mm.
It felt like it took place in 2014 when it took place.
Right. Well, and they only listed as action.
Shot.
It could say like sci-fi / action, or action / sci-fi, something like that. But they only listed as action, making it seem like it's an action movie, which it is and it isn't.
I mean, it isn't. It's not a sci-fi movie at all. Other than the fact that it takes place in 2047. Other than that fact, there is no sci-fi-ness to it. I mean, I guess them doing the stuff with the brains, but I didn't even understand any of that. So,
well, the computers are very Minority Report. They got the big computer screens that you could see through, and they can move stuff around with their fingers, and so it kind of had that Minority Report feel when it comes to the computers. And of course, Sponge.
They do that in the Avengers.
Yeah. Well, but the Avengers could be listed as science fiction to a point. Science fiction doesn't always have to be future. Science fiction is just something that doesn't exist. That's
right.
Fiction is real.
Right. You're
science fiction.
Well, that's sci-fi fantasy. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's got to have some science to it, and I guess this sort of had a little science, but not much.
Yeah, a lot of people think science fiction is like Star Wars or Dune. It isn't. It's just fiction is real. Science fiction is not real.
Right. Yeah.
But we use it for sci-fi movies. Yeah. So, but all right. I'd
love to see science nonfiction movies, some real science movies.
Well, there you go. That's why you watch the Discovery Channel a lot.
That's true. Those are fun.
So,
I learn a lot. I did not learn anything in this movie except don't waste a lot of money on big stars, and not give them something good.
Well, what I learned and just learning it is that the reason why they made this movie is because they got to go to Italy. So that right there is.
Oh, I guess that's a good learning experience, is to know that now that if I'm going to have big stars, I'm going to fly them out to fucking Italy, they probably flew first class, except for Stephen Baldwin, who, unfortunately. From the start, I'm getting fucking put in coach, man. The fuck. All right. Anyway, that was it. That's my review of it.
All right, and that's my review. So I guess we'll wrap this up and say goodbye to everybody. So Jonathan gives this 1.5 blowjobs, and I give this 2 blowjobs. So we'll end it on blowjobs. So perfect. Yes, perfect, and yes, I think so. Okay, I guess that's it. So thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate you being here, and thank you for recommending this. I mean, thanks for recommending this. I appreciate it. Thanks.
No, but seriously, I mean, no, I was happy to watch it.
It follows what I've been doing with this, so
it was okay to watch it. I mean, I can say I saw Death Squad now. I always get mad because I buy so many movies I'm probably never going to watch. So, when I do get a chance to watch them and review them, it's great.
And this will be one of those movies that absolutely nobody asks, hey, have you ever seen Death Squad? It will just never.
Yeah, and then they go, no. And they're like, hey, we can watch this movie. And then, I'll be like, never mind. It's not a good movie. You should probably not watch it.
No, it just goes down. No.
Yeah, no. Let's
not keep it like that. So, all right, everybody. Now we're just goofing around. So, okay.
I know. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks. I appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.